Three, two, one. Hello guys, hello everyone out there. You guys are welcome once again to our hangout session. And of course, this is what we talked last time. Understand what we're going to do right now. The way we talked when everything went down last week. We had a very, very important guest. I mean, we're thankful that he even could come on our platform because he's a professional. These are people who actually do what they do because they know what to do and keep doing it. You understand? And so his vision, he's a visionary man who has had a way to try to fight binary option scams. And these are things that are always recurrent in the binary options trading industry. There are always scammers out there. And for us to be able to help and save traders, we have to look for the safest ways traders can actually work in the binary options industry where they don't have to fall short to scammers. So I'll be introducing to you guys the main man himself, Mr. Lawrence Townsend. Mr. Lawrence, please, can you just take the mic now, say a little bit about yourself for those who were not available last week?
Yeah, thanks, Maverick. Yeah, as you said, I've run a Facebook group. Try and stop scammers from trying to scam other people, and also provide a group where people can ask about certain people and whether they think they might be a scam or not. And we try and help out and give advice of what to look out for when you one and knowing whether they are a scam. There's a couple of things that people could do to find out, and we can talk about that.
Yes.
And this group's been running for about a year now, so we've got a team of about 10 people now, and there's 4 moderators who are now looking at all these scams that are popping up. I mean, not only is it binary, but it can be Forex and cryptocurrency as well.
And we even heard about a case that we're going to talk about today, about even the brokers themselves. We know about a professional trader who's a friend of ours, Phony Vo, who recently just had a problem with one of the brokers who stopped his money or stopped his withdrawal from and his profits. I mean, and that's another form of scams that happen in the industry. So we'll also be talking about the individual scammers. We'll talk about the various industries they are, binary, Forex, the cryptocurrencies, and also brokers, because brokers also there's some brokers are actually scammers. In when because they have the control of your money, they can choose to give or choose not to give you based on their terms. And that, as we see, it is also a scam, because that's not what they tell you when you're coming in to join the brokers. So I think we'll also talk about that in our hangout session today, so that traders out there would know the right brokers to use, the regulated brokers, and how they can keep themselves safe from the fake ones, so they don't have problems losing their money. Because it's good if you're trading and you're making profits and you realize that at the end of the month you're about to now withdraw all the profits you worked with throughout the whole month, and at the end of the day you can't even touch your money. That's like real scam. That's even worse than letting another person take your money, man. Because it's right there in your face. You're looking at your money, but you can't touch it. So we're going to talk about that today as we go along.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, and just to follow up on what you're saying about how you've got your money with them, and they always make that statement. Well, like we're just like a bank, they say, but of course that's not true at all. I mean, if it was like a bank, you'd be able to withdraw your money straight away. Whereas you'll find with these people, it takes like 2 weeks. So definitely not like a bank.
Yeah. Okay. So first, what we'll start with is first of all, look at how do we spot? I think we spoke about that last week, but we can just recap on that just a little bit. How could we stop? How could we stop, or how could we spot scam traders when they approach us? For example, what are the things you think we should look out for when we see people come up to us who tell us that they can make $100,000 from $2,000 in 1 week, and all those type of scams and everything? How do we know which is the right one, which is not the right one to go with?
Yeah, so Yeah, just to recap from last week, the first thing that you ask is like for a recent trading history, and they just can't produce that because if you ask for the last 3 days, they have to go and find somewhere in Google who's actually shown results for the last day, and that's very uncommon. So if you ask for something recent, they just can't produce it, and I think just about every person that we've asked on our page, they just not been able to do it. So it's a really good test to do that, recent trading history.
Okay.
You can go down the road of authentication, getting documents verifying that they're registered in a country to provide financial services. But even then, you've got to be careful. Because like you might hear that like SISIC is quite a popular one, but really these brokers just pay a fee and then they're just registered.
Yeah.
It has to be something really bad, and I think you might have heard that like Option Rally has now SISIC has now dropped them from the books, but that was only because it got so bad and there was just so many people affected by it that SISIC had to do something about it.
Oh,
But
you
you've got
said
these other
which
smaller
broker?
businesses.
Which broker is that? Which broker is
Option
that?
Rally.
Options.
Option Rally.
Options Rally. Okay. Hello guys. You
Yeah,
guys. Hope
that's
you
the
heard
one
that.
that,
Hope you heard that. Hope you
yeah,
heard that.
and
SISEC is dropped.
yeah, they've dropped them. But there was just too much publicity out there saying that they were really, really bad, so they had to do something about it. But then you've got smaller brokers who say they're registered with SISIC, and because they have such a small clientele, they can just disappear. So, and really, all they did was just paid $50 to get registered with SISIC. Now, in saying that, you'll hear companies say, "Oh, we're registered with ASAC here in Australia, or maybe with the FCA over in the US or something like that." You got to think about like they can be registered, all they have to do is just pay money and they just go on the books. But like here in Australia, they actually have to have a financial service license as well. So that's to say that they are licensed to offer financial products. So you might want to have a look. If you're looking at a broker, the best thing to do is, are they registered within your own country? Because preferably it's better to pick a broker from your country. And are they able to actually provide financial products as well? Now, the reason why I say that it's better to do with it within your own country is because you can get the authorities onto them. When you're dealing with a company overseas, you do run the risk that if anything goes wrong, you just can't do anything about it. I have a friend who works for the federal police here in Australia,
Yeah.
and I asked them about, well, what happens if like there's a broker that I'm dealing with overseas and they're not paying up? And he said it's extremely difficult. He said like you hear like us federal police or like with the FBI, you hear rumors about how they've gone over and done something about it. He said, but it's not 100% true because when they do have to investigate a case overseas, they actually have to get those local authorities jurisdiction to be able to actually do anything about it. So, he said the whole thing about FBI just going into a country and arresting people, he said it's not true.
Yeah.
He said they have to ask for permission from the local police there to arrest those people. And that's what makes it really difficult because you're dealing with two countries. Nobody likes a foreign country to come in and tell them what to do and
Tell them
stuff.
what
So
to
that's why it's.
do. Oh yeah.
So that's why I recommend is like if you can find someone within your own country. I know it's not always possible, and so therefore the only real way is word of mouth. Have trusted friends of where they've been investing their money, and just ask
Okay.
around.
So do your research. You're telling traders.
Yeah. So that's the authentication verification side of things, and really basically it's just like you can go on like our site, Fight Binary Options, and once you've done as much research as you can jump onto that site and then just ask people, have you invested with this broker or with these traders and stuff like that, and people can usually tell you, well, it's a site where most people have been scammed, so you'll find out whether it is a scam or not.
Okay.
But there is a really good website called scamadvisor.com, so that's a good website to jump on. Usually for companies less than 3 months old, then it's really risky.
Scam advice.
And also, yeah, and you'll get brokers say, well, you can't always trust other people's reviews and stuff like that because they're just trying to promote their company. But that's just a really lame excuse, because when you go to Scam Advisor and you put your bank in, you'll see that it's 100% secure. So, and then all the details about why it's secure. So, yeah, it's just a bad excuse, really.
Okay, that's really cool. That's a lot. To all our traders out there who are listening right now, you guys have heard one of the ways for you to be able to check the brokers. Please, guys, remember, first of all, check if they are regulated. If they're regulated, you're on a higher, your risk is therefore being reduced and you're safer because there's a governing body that organizes how they're supposed to operate. But the next step is try and check if they're preferably in your country, so that it's easy for you to be able to report them or actually file complaints directly to them whenever you have issues, because it's easier then than you having to send to another country. Just as Lawrence has said, he spoke about his friend who's in the police, who has been able to explain to him how it works. So guys, if you can't get to your country, we're not saying you should not trade at all. No. The next thing to do is to try and see those who have used the services before. It's kind of like a review, it's like a preview of whatever you're trying to see before you're trying to buy. It's like buying stuff online. You want to actually know if the people you're buying from online are actually real people or not. So it's like you have to do your own homework yourself. You have to do it yourself so that you can be able to know more about how it works. And also you can go to the Scam Advisors website. Is this scamadvisors.com?
Yes, scamadvisor.com.
Scamadvisor.com. So you guys can go to scamadvisor.com and also Fight Binary Options Scams group Facebook group on Facebook. Yeah. Well, that's the one that Lawrence operates. Or you can just literally go to the info section of this video. I dropped the link there for you to click. Once you click that link, it takes you directly to Fight Binary Options page immediately group. So you can request to join. Lawrence is always there to help you. Like he said, there are a lot of other people who are helping him to run the group. He's not the only one. So if he's not around, some other people can actually help. But then you can go and see. I go there a couple of times and I go to see. You see a lot of people. Sometimes you see traders, sometimes you see brokers, but they're always listed there. Like if someone has a complaint, he goes there to report. So it's kind of like a place where you can be able to learn to understand the business before you like put your legs into the waters. You understand? So guys, I advise you also do that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we'll be going to the next question. The next thing, Lawrence, we're really grateful for what you're doing for us right now. The next thing we'll be talking about. Now we've spoken about the brokers. The next thing we're talking about are the individual traders, the people who have Facebook pages, or sorry, Facebook profiles that look like they are real. How do we know who is real, who is not, except from the point of them giving us the recent trades? Is there any other way you can like advise us? Because like me, for instance, I have my own way. What I always do is I go to check the photos of the person. Now, if one person just has about 4 photographs on Facebook, and the person just recently opened the Facebook account, I am more likely to think you're a scam, because it just shows that you opened it for that reason. You're just trying to get things to look like they are right. But if someone has like a Facebook that seems to have been over time, and you've seen that from the person's pictures, maybe a year or two, or not even a year or two, like 3 months or something, the person constantly has been talking about this industry, not just by helping people to trade, but talking about things that happen. You see, if the person is talking about maybe the price of Bitcoin went up when it was 4,000 this, or you see the person talking about, oh, look at what Donald Trump said and how it's affecting the industry, then you're hearing professionalism in that person. That's who you can then trust. But if you can see that the person has nothing except from maybe a couple of photos, 1, 2, 3, 4 photos, smiling, then that could be just really arranged. Like you can just literally go to another profile, download the pictures, set it up on another new profile, and make it look like that. So that's one of the ways I actually use to check scammers. I go to check their history, go to check their posts, what it's like. But for you, can you also enlighten us on how we can do that more so that we can be able to fight against scammers, please?
Yes, that's right. I mean, that's what I do as well. Is you'll see like they've got a group of photos. I mean, you'll see their family and stuff like that. But usually that's just put on one time of the year, and then the rest of it is all about that. They'll probably get news or sayings or stuff like that from other websites and just put it on their page. There was a good example that we found someone else that was a hacked account, and it was one of the issues was like what you were just saying, and the other one was all their friends, even though they said they're from this country, all their friends were from another country. So that's another way that you can spot them. So like, for example, you might have someone who's he says they're from the US, yes, but yet they've got all these friends over in Romania or something like that, right? And it doesn't look like there's any kind of connection between the two of them. So that's just one thing you can do. And it's funny enough, a lot of scammers are targeting Texas. I don't know why, but a lot of these scam accounts all seem to all pretend that they come from Texas. And then when you look at their friends, you absolutely know that, how could they have all these friends from another country other than Texas? So that's another thing you can look out for. Also, too, if you want to prove that they are a good trader and stuff like that, you can ask for the MyFX book. Usually, if you can get a trading history from that, or like a lot of people use MT4, and you can get an account history from that. So there's certain things that you can do to verify whether they are actually trading.
And also, our advice: if you're going to give anybody your money, try as much as possible to get the person's phone number first. Try as much as possible to talk to the person on the phone. Do not give the person your money, maybe talking to him on the phone now, next day, 2 days. No. Try and build a relationship with the person first. I always would advise that, because in that way you can actually get to ask questions that you really want to find out. And the way the person would answer the question will tell you if he is professional or not. So try as much as possible, guys. Everybody out there, if you're giving anybody your money, we're not saying, because there are actually good traders out there. We're not saying everybody that will come as scammers, but try as much as possible to get the phone numbers. Call them on the phone regularly. Don't start with the investments. Start with having a personal relationship with the person first. Try as much as going to know the person well. Then also ask questions that you also know the answer to, professional questions that you know the answers to. Example, like ask them, oh, please, when you about what session do you trade? Do you trade the Asian session? Do you trade the New York session? Questions like that kind of come up at one point in time. Ask them what they do. When you're listening to how they answer you, if they don't answer you in a professional sense, in the sense that you know sounds professional, then you're more sure of who the person truly is, probably a scammer. You get, but if the person speaks well, and you can even ask the person some things about knowledge of forex, act like you even want to learn more from the person, and if the person sounds professional, then that's a good way. Then you can know, okay, if the person is not a scammer or not, or is a scammer. So you guys try to do your own research. Don't always fall victim to the person. Like, one thing I like about Lawrence, because I talk with Lawrence regularly, and I know he does a whole lot of before he says anything about any person, even if he likes the person, he's going to first do his research. He always does his research first before, and he even lets me know the research he does for people. If he checks someone out and says, "Okay, well, this is the research I've done. This is it. I know this person for a while, but this is how I see this person working. This is it," and he's truthful with it. So I think everybody should try and do that. Try and build a relationship with people that they're trying to work with. And if the person sounds professional, good. If it doesn't sound professional, find your way out. And also, you can go and report if you see any scam activities. Guys, remember, please, you can report on the Fight Binary Options scam page. You can go there and report so that you can help grow the awareness and not let other people fall victim. Okay,
yeah,
so Lawrence, you can.
Yeah. You touched on a couple of things there, which is quite interesting from my experience. Is that when you were talking about relationships and professionalism, if you're dealing with a professional company, they won't sort of inquire into your personal life. You know, you're here to do business with them, right? So sometimes you can tell if someone's a scammer is because they ask you, "Oh, what do you do for a job? Are you married? Do you have kids and stuff like that?" Because they think that, well, if I build strong rapport with this person, I don't have to really provide a lot of evidence to get them in. So they think that if they build a strong relationship with you, they don't have to answer all the questions that you're going to throw at them, because they think, oh well, this guy is going to end up believing me. So so that's an interesting point that I've found. What was just something else?
Yeah. Also, so from what I'm saying, you would advise also like people should try to contact them personally, right? You think, don't you think they should try to know them personally so that they don't fall victim? Because most scammers, I won't lie to you, I don't think they have time to go all the way down, start talking to you. They're only there for the money, and if you try to ask so much questions, they get to run away. I think that's how scammers are. So try as much as possible to ask the questions you want to ask.
I mean, you can build that personal relationship, but it's something like, you don't have to give your money to them straight away. You can just say, well, like, I'm interested in what you're having to offer, and then you just follow them for a little bit. See how well they do. Say, oh look, I'll follow your progress over the next 2 weeks, and then over that time, you will end up asking more personal questions and stuff like that. There was one really good example where a guy said he was from New Zealand, and because I'm from New Zealand, I said to the guy, well, you should ask what suburb he lives in. And once he asked what suburb, the guy blocked him. So so there's little things like that. You can sort of just tactfully. You don't have to because I know some traders don't like these personal questions, and hence vice versa. It goes the other way around. But there's just little things that you can do that. It's not too personal, but yet enough to sort of reveal who they are, like what country and where they right there. I don't know, things like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, you guys. That's true, you guys. So guys, you're hearing all these things we're talking about, and yes, we said we're going to talk about something very important. Our friend, who is a professional trader, Phony, just got into an issue with one of the brokers, Finmax. Finmax broker has been a broker he's been using, and up to now I remember, if you guys are on our Facebook page, or you can go to our Facebook page. Saturday, which was yesterday, we actually posted about it, and they were telling him he was violating the user agreements, management of funds in his account of a third party who doesn't belong to the trading account, trading on several accounts, providing false documents, and trading with the help of third party robots. And in the video, Phony actually shows that he uses his real passport. Like, he was bold enough to actually bring out his passport to show that he's not false. He's not a false person or false document. He's actually the real person then. Do you understand? So I think everybody should, if you're out there at Finmax, I think you should be careful. Finmax is a binary option platform that people use. I think they operate in what country do they operate in already? Let's take a look at them. Finmax. They they trade binary options online. I think their website is FinmaxBO. That's Finmax Binary Options. FinmaxBO.com. So he's had a problem with them, and he's not been able to recover his funds back. Is there anything you can say about that, please?
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, when you try and get your money, there's just little. You know, a lot of people ask me, "What can I do?" and to get my money back, and really, there isn't much you can do. And that's why it's always important to use your credit card so they can reverse the funds. If you use Western Union and stuff like that, yeah, you can kiss your money goodbye because you're never going to get that back if you use it that way. So even like choosing sort of avenues for depositing or making an investment is really important. You'll notice that a lot of the people use Bitcoin and wallets and stuff like that. And one of the reasons they do kind of use it is because it's harder to trace. And once that money goes, there's no way you can reverse that. So it's handy to know that using a credit card is probably one of the best ways. Not guaranteed, but it is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the use of can you speak a little more on you said you spoke about using the card, using like your debit card or your credit card or your Mastercard.
Yeah.
How does that help us? How does that make it better? How could you reverse it?
Well, each of these banks have their own sort of fraud department. So when you say that you think you've been scammed or you've experienced a fraud, these guys would jump on board and try and help you out. So we've got one in Australia here. And I only just inquire. I said, "Oh, I think it might be a scam." And these guys are really eager. It goes, "All right, yeah, okay, we'll find out for you, and we'll make sure everything is reversed and stuff like that." So they do have a dedicated team within these credit cards. There's a Mastercard that they're willing to help out.
Are they bankers, please? Bankers or private
Yeah,
companies?
as well as banks and stuff like that as well. So
Okay. So that would be good to ask your bank for
oh,
help to reverse it, right?
yeah, and another thing too is like I've recently I've heard about a lot of people say, "Oh, I've invested with this guy, and now he's asking me if I want to withdraw, I have to pay for the taxes." And that's not true, really, because how can you pay another government's tax? You can't do that. You pay the tax within your own country. So yeah, so that's usually like, and if the, like I don't know, maybe there's some tax exemption or whatever like that. But if there is anything where they say, "Oh, because of these fees or contracts or these government fees that have to be put in place," then just ask for the documentation because they won't be able to deliver it. So if it's tax or if
That's
it's an invoice, they ask them what's the invoice number and stuff like that, and see if it's if it's their actual tax numbers registered within that country, because usually sometimes it isn't even registered. So
yeah,
you
that's
can,
good. That's really good.
yeah,
Hi. Yeah, yeah. I never really even thought of that. That's really good, guys. If you guys are listening, yeah. If any trader asks you for charges for you to withdraw your money from him, ask for documentation. That's
yeah,
true. Ask for documentation. It makes more sense because then you can know if it's corporate or if it's just one guy trying to do a sleazy scam on you. You
yeah.
get me? Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Any other ones you can advise?
Yeah, so like I actually have invested in a financial company in New Zealand,
Mm.
and I have a bank account there, so I do have to pay tax and stuff like that. But what I said to them is that okay, you deal with all the legal requirements and stuff like that out of the money that I've given you, right?
Mm.
So I don't have to pay them any more money. They, if they need to take out their commission, their fees or taxes or whatever it is, it all comes out of the money that I have invested in. So if anybody asks you, oh, look, you need to give us more money to pay all these fees so that you can get your money back, it's totally bogus.
Okay, that's true. Ask
Never
them.
ever give them any more money. As soon as they ask for more money, then you know it's a scam.
Wow.
Because they should be able to take it out of your investment.
Yes, out of your investments. Yeah. That's true. That's true. So, guys, remember, if you're out there listening to this, if you've already fallen victim to this, you've already heard ways you can try to get your money back. Hopefully, if you use the card, hopefully, if they're in your country. But if these things do not apply to you and you seem to have lost money, do not listen to the person when he says you should pay another extra dime. Do not listen to the person. If the person says whatever he says, ask for your documentation or tell him he should take the charges out of your investment and then send you the remaining of it, the remainder after deductions. It's like tax deductions. When you take your taxes out of your salaries, for instance, and the salary that comes to your account is literally the major one that comes to your account. Tell the person, because in my country that's how it works here. They'll take the tax first before the salary gets to you. So if the person acts in that way, tell the person to take the tax out, the charges out before it gets to you. Even because that's what even happens with online banks. If you use banks like Skrill or you use banks like Netala, for instance, they take the charges as the transfer goes. They don't tell you to pay extra charges. They charge on the money. Or they'll tell you, they'll evaluate it and tell you this is what you're going to pay. So you pay everything in full first before anything works out. So I think that's what you guys out there should try and do. That's really a great one. So we've spoken about how to deal with the scam brokers. We're talking about how to deal with individual scam traders. Then the last but not the least is what we talk about when it comes to scam signal providers. Because like us, we at the money updates, our job is to connect people to the best trading groups. So here we actually have like our own ways where we know someone is actually a professional trader who is giving professional signals. There's a way we use the tactics we use to always scan through. But before we speak about that, can you shed more light on this, please?
Yeah, with signal providers, you'll actually find that there are a lot of good signal providers, but the only problem is they're not consistent. They might have a really good run for a couple of weeks, and then something will change in the market, and then they just blow everything. And then what you'll end up finding too, though, is a lot of these people, they get desperate. Once they start making a loss, they try and retrieve it, and then they'll end up blowing your account. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they are a scam. It's just, they just they also too get caught up in the emotional trading. And sometimes a lot of these guys are quite delusional as well. They think that, they're hotshot traders. The market's always changing, and you need to use different tactics and strategies to accommodate for it. You just can't apply one sort of strategy for all conditions. It just kind of doesn't really work that way. Wow. So like for example, like price action is there something that a lot of signal providers use. But you've got to know the market well enough that whether price action will actually work or whether it's just going to keep trending.
Yes, that's true. I think you can also try to find out using fundamental analysis why the market is moving in that direction. Is it the news? Because a couple of times when price action doesn't work, and sometimes it's because of the news or something big happens that's affecting the currency pair, the stock or the company, which would drive the price to move in a funny way. So sometimes if you're the money update, what we always do is every morning we send news to every trading group that we work with. Please, guys, if you're going to trade with if you're going to trade with a signal provider on your own, please try and get the news. You can go to our website, the money update. You could just go to our YouTube page or our Facebook page. Every morning you can go there. We drop the news for the day. From Mondays to Fridays, we drop the news for you guys so that everybody can know what they're going to go through today. So if someone gives you a signal at a time where you see that from the news, you know that, okay, for example, USD, they're going to have a lot of speeches today, and the time the person is giving you the trades, and there's a news that's occurring at that point in time, you should not trade. Do not trade, because at the end of the day, the market is not going in the way where it should go in terms of price action, except if the person is telling you directly that he's trading the news, and that you will have to confirm yourself. Try to confirm if the trader is trading the news. If the trader is not trading the news, he's just trading as he wants to. Please do not trade in those times, because at the end of the day, you might probably fall victim to it. So you can go to our page, themoneyupdate.wixsite.com, or you can go to investing.com. You can go to dailyfx.com. Try and get the news every single time. You can go to our page, the money updates. So it's our Facebook page on Facebook. Just search for the money update. You see the news we give every morning. Try to check the news before you guys trade. It will just really, really help a lot. And also, if you're going to trade with a signal provider, what we can advise is, if you can come to our page, we'll connect you directly for free. We do not charge anybody anything for these things. We connect you to the best trading groups that we believe where we work with, because we've done our analysis, a whole lot of analysis that has to do with first knowing the traders. We always know our traders personally, and we don't only know the traders in the group. We try to know the person who built the group and know the person personally. We follow up the person's trade consistently to see how good the person is. We check the person's discipline. We try to see how many trades the person gives per day. If someone is giving you as much as, I know one time we were trying to, when I first started trading, I met someone who would give about 20 trades in like 1 hour. That doesn't make sense, because when it comes to managing your risk, 20 trades is not something good for you to manage your risk with.
Right. Yeah,
it doesn't.
Yeah.
So someone who goes to like a fewer trades, someone who maybe like gives like 5 trades daily, he's consistent and he's disciplined. Because you see some traders, there's a trading group we're following right now that we're trying to analyze it to see if the person is good. And one thing we like about the guy is that he's a disciplined trader. He says it, okay, this is going to be our trades for today. Immediately after this, maybe 2 OTMs were out, or once we get 5 ITMs were out, and immediately that happens, the person goes out. That's why you see discipline.
Yeah.
And then you can be able to know that, okay, that's a good signal provider for you. So you guys, please make sure you check these things out. Everyone listening out there, check it out. You can always come to our page, to Money Update, ask us, or you can send us a message, tell us to help you preview a particular signal group. We're always there. We'll help you to do that thing for free. Or also, you can go to Lawrence on his 5 binary options scam. If he has met any of these traders before, ask him, because this is like you doing your own review. Ask Lawrence, or come and ask us, what do you see about this person? This is what we see. And also check how many trades does the person give. Is the person consistent with his winnings? You understand? Also look at the when traders give signal trades, they're all, look at the comment section. It's very, very good to look at the comment section, because that's where you see where the traders that took the trades, who are following the signals, that's how they react. You will see if they actually got the ITM or the OTM, because some people can send you a trade, it will go an OTM, but they'll publicize it out and say, oh, that was an ITM. So look at the comments. If nobody is giving comments for each trade, then that person there's a way for you to find out that that's the fake signal provider. Real signal providers always allow people to comment under their trades to see if they actually made it. Look at the comments and see if people are actually making ITMs from this. And that's one of the ways you can.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. You'll get these signal providers, and they'll have these impressive records. And yeah, maybe it works. See, that's the thing. Maybe it works for them, but it may not work for you, because by the time they give their signal, it's probably already gone. It's too late to actually enter in. Yeah, and there are signal companies out there. Like, I think there's one called signalsbinary.com, and they fudge their results. I mean, they say, oh, we get about 80%, but then you have a look at their actual trades that they've taken. They've only reported only some of it. So it's, yeah, and also too, like you were saying before, is that it is important to see what other people are getting, because at the end of the day, if other people can get it, then you can get it. But if the person who's providing the signals, they may get it, but you don't know how they're getting it. I mean, you don't know what sort of broker they're using, or at what time they're actually putting it in. So to actually know if someone's really successful is like, well, how many people have actually been successful in taking those signals?
Yes, exactly. That's true. Exactly. And don't always be afraid to ask people in the group. You can personally ask people, send them a personal message, be very friendly. Don't ask them rudely, be very
Yeah,
friendly. Ask them how has it been for them since they've been in the group? Has it been
yeah,
profitable for them?
yeah,
Don't use just only one person, because I mean there's some people who are lazy who don't take trades. So people are literally lazy. Try and ask a couple of people, not one, not two, like 3 or 4 people. Who have they been? Has the group been strong? Does the person have a good attitude? Because that's another thing. If the trader doesn't have a good attitude, it's stressful for you taking his signals, because he can complain and not realize that he's the one at fault and start complaining against you. That messes up your own mental framework, messes up your trades and all. So try and find out things like this, just exactly as Lawrence has said. Please, you guys always try to do things like that. Yeah.
and like you were saying before about your services, there should be a trial, and some of it should be free, because if they want to get people in, they need to show people that they can win. It doesn't work the
Yes.
other way around, that you have to pay them money and then see if it's going to work out for you. I mean, the business model that a lot of people use, not only for like signal traders, but even brokers and stuff like that, is like they always say, you got to put money in first and then you'll see. It doesn't have to
Yes.
work that way. It can work
Yes.
the other way. You can say, well, you show me how it's done. And
And if
then
I
from
like it,
that, then
I'll go. Yes, yes, it's true. I've seen a couple of there's a couple of signal providers that work that way. Even the people we're promoting right now, options bin, right now they're on a free, they're on promos, and that's what we always do. We always, because we also give consultancy of how to manage a signals group, and we always advise people give promos. Right now, options bin is giving free signals from now to December because of the Christmas. So everybody
yeah,
that goes there is for free. You take the signals for free, and that can even help you to know within 1 month. That's 1 month for you to actually analyze if next year you want to trade with them. So yes, I agree with that. Go with people who give you if you try to join a Facebook group, ask if they give free signals, because most of
yeah,
them, they might have a Telegram group and make the Telegram group is a paid group, but the Facebook group is a free group. And the Facebook, they give you like maybe like 2 or 3 trades a day. The Telegram group is where they get the money, their own pays from, so they give them more signals on that page. So what we're saying is try and look for people who give free signals for you to test, and don't leave off these free signals, because at the end of the day, these guys get to a point in time where they can actually tend to stop their free signals. Maybe they've seen they've helped a couple of people in a while, and they're trying to work with, since it's a business, you're trying to make their own money also, because then they put in work to make things like this, a whole lot of experience and all. So don't always think you're going to, if you get the free one, you want to be free for life. No, but try to use the free for your way for you to analyze. Use it to analyze for yourself. I think that's a very wonderful point you gave there, Lawrence. I really agree with you when it comes to that. Join um, group signal groups that actually give free packages for you to be able to analyze them.
I mean, it is understandable for some guys who are signal providers that they get a little bit frustrated that they give these free signals out, but they can't turn them into actual paying customers. But usually that's because they don't follow them up. They
Yeah.
don't give a personal message and say, "Oh, look, you've been with me for a while now. How's it been going for you? I'm going to be offering a paid service. So would you like to jump on board?" They just haven't done that.
Yes,
Some of
that's
these
true.
signal, they just like providing signals, but there is also the admin work as well. So it's quite important that they actually have good admins in their team, so it can give you the support that's needed as well. Because
That's
these
true.
guys, what ends up happening is they will end up, they could be good signal providers, but they'll end up getting really demoralized and then just stop giving signals, and then you may have paid for something and they've stopped.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's the business side of it. There's one thing to be good at giving signals. There's one thing, another to be good at business, managing a business.
Yeah,
So yes, I
I have a good
totally
team.
agree. Yeah, have a good team. That's why we always partner with only the best trading groups to try and help them better. We do the promotions, we handle a lot of things for them because some people are talented in one way, some other people are talented in another way. So that's how we combine with them in order to help traders all around the world. So guys, like what Lawrence has just said right now is I mean, he's Lawrence. You have a whole lot of gold. When I mean gold, man, you have a whole lot of knowledge in you. I think you should write a book.
Yeah.
You could write a book on
Oh,
this.
there's a lot to be learnt in this industry. I mean, I think, like for myself, I've experienced it all, and that's why I'm able to share this. I've had dodgy brokers, bad signal providers, people saying one thing and trying to, like, oh, you can recover your money if you put more money in. I've gone through that all as well, and I've been gullible enough to fall for it. So that's one of the reasons why I just want to share this info
Yeah,
with other people.
that makes you smart.
You'll get people who say to you, "Oh, you should, you should have known better." But we
No,
all
no,
kind of fall.
no. I don't think.
Don't
I think that's what
don't be
makes you know
ashamed.
better. I think that's
Yeah,
what makes you know better. I think that's how what you build your experience. Like if you've not been through that, then you probably not be able to teach us how to stop things like that. So it's good experience for you because then it has taught you how to actually be more aware of the scammers in the industry. So I don't think in fact, I think it's a very good thing that happened to you, and it's a very good thing that you learned from it because now you're definitely helping more people around the world right now just by knowing what you're doing. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise.
yeah. It makes it tougher because at first it's like, why don't you give us a try, and then put in a little bit of money in and see for yourself. That I fell for that right from the beginning, and I just hope that nobody ever falls for that.
Uh,
You can try so many times, but you'll just end up losing more and more money. There's a way to it. They just they says, well, you got to seek the opportunity now. But when you think about it, like how you're saying about money management and stuff like that, you really they don't. You can go back to them and say, well, there is calculated risk. And if you're to be a really good business person or someone who's professional, you would assess the risk. You can't deny that.
true.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're coming to the end of this session. It's been really good. We spent about an hour right now.
Yeah, sure.
We spent about an hour right now, and it has been very profitable. I mean, really, really very profitable for us right now. So, is there any other thing you would like to leave us with before we go, please? Hello? Lawrence? Yeah, we haven't Lawrence. Okay, I think maybe something must have happened in the connections. Okay, so you guys we're about to round up right now. Thanks to everybody who has been able to join. Thanks to Lawrence for all the knowledge you've shared with us. Remember, guys, you can go to his page, join his page, try and fight binary options scams, and you can from there learn a whole lot when it comes to trading. You can learn how to not fall for scammers in the binary option trading industry, so that helps you to secure your money, guys. So, guys, thank you very much for being there. Hope you've learned a lot. Please go to our page, the Money Update on Facebook. You can follow us, get news, get everything. And you can always come back to us every Sunday. Thank you so much and have a blessed day. Bye.